HQ,
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I want to ask you something. You ready for my question? This is baby making music. You know that, right?
Yeah, man, we know, man.
When I
We
say
deliberate
baby
the
making
book.
music, I'm talking about the way you guys harmonize and gel together. It's just incredible. What is the
Yeah.
future projects that you guys are working on?
All right. Well, let me speak on one thing, and then I'll let Marlon speak on
Okay.
this. Right now, presently, we have two singles that we're pushing as hard as we can, which is Lately,
Yeah.
and the other one is Celestial Love. Now,
Okay.
Lately, we haven't put out Lately in terms of have it for purchase yet, but Celestial Love is on iTunes right now.
Okay.
It's on Celestial Rhythm, which is Blue Flame Music label.
Okay.
Those are the two that we're pushing right now. We have a YouTube video for Lately, but we're going to do an international video in September for Lately, and we have another YouTube video for Celestial Love that we're going to upload today.
Okay.
So
And
those are
who is
two musical projects that we're pushing right now.
okay? And who is the producer of Celestial Rhythm?
Well, the producer for Celestial Rhythm is Robert Paxton.
And he's under the Blue Flame Records. That's his label.
And Lately is produced by our management, one person on our management team, which is Franklin Bell,
Right.
Okay.
which is presently on tour with Jimmy Cliff.
Okay.
Big up Franklin Bell.
So
Something else that what we're working also what we're working on is for next month we're supposed to be doing a live show. It's called Grooving.
okay.
That's held over by UA, the University of the West Indies, and we're also working on our album.
Okay.
So by end of 2012, we're supposed to be looking forward to putting out our album.
Yeah, with features like Kabaka Pyramid, Raging Fire.
Wow.
Supposed to go in
Stephanie Maxwell.
Stephanie Maxwell. Supposed to go in the studio with Dub Tonic.
Right.
Wow.
Just
Just a few.
just to name a few, because we don't want to give it all away.
Wow.
Trust me, when you hear that album,
It's
not going to be normal, because it's not something that we've been working on that album from about 2010.
Wow.
2010.
Yeah.
So just to let you know that it's not something that we're rushing. We
Yeah.
want when
Yeah.
put
And-
out that album, it is presented properly with the quality
Yeah.
that we're aiming for, which is
Higher quality.
And don't forget what some it's already in process. Me and Keena is going to and Ricky going to come together to put the planning in place for our annual show.
Okay.
Next
So the next
generation
generation
of
of
reggae.
reggae. So
So
you can
tell
look
us
out for
about that. Tell us about that because you do a lot of works with many upcoming artists. Would I be correct in saying that?
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true.
Tell us about
it's,
that.
It started out that I had an idea that I want.
This is Keena stuff.
Yeah, Keena Jet talking.
Okay,
And
thank you very
and
much.
and I brought it to. I initially brought it to Marlon first, and I was kind of skeptical because I was like, we need to, we normally go on other people's show, but I was thinking of
Yeah, tell us
a acoustic type of thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So I said, you know what, we need to have a show for ourselves. And then I linked Marlon and I said, Marlon, we need to have a show for ourselves. And he was like, yeah. And I said, yo, if you can't find the venue, we can't keep it in the next 2 months. And then I didn't hear nothing from him. We didn't talk about it. And then boom, one day he said, yo, the venue. So I was surprised that he really was behind the scenes doing the work. And that was African Star Complex. And that's
Okay.
where we kept the first
Capletons.
generation of reggae in '08.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we invited, and we said, you know what, we don't want to be the only artists. Because you have other acts like us that need, that exposure and that looking for persons to hear the music. So then Ricardo said, yo, I could link up some other artists, and then we start link other people. We link Raging Fire, we link Ibamar, then we link Pentatush, we link Blueprint.
Kabaka Pyramid.
Wow.
Well, Kabaka wasn't in '08 that time.
Yeah, at that time.
Right.
But there was a few artists at that time, Chaos and some other artists, and then
Wow.
persons were really receptive to it, and they came out, and then it grew stronger the other year, and then we invited other artists like Skygrass and Kabaka and,
Yeah.
and Brian, you know what I mean? Brian Hart, which is known, and it just kept on growing, and then Sarita, and then other artists came on board.
Yeah.
So it is a young artist type of thing. If you want to know the type of caliber of talent that Jamaica has, you just come to Next Generation Reggae. It's the only show that showcased all young acts.
Right.
Last year we had 17 young artists on the show.
Brilliant.
Just to show you. And it's not 17 trying to bust artists, it's 17 quality, crisp artists.
Give us some names.
Last year we had Kabaka Pyramid, Sharita Lewis, Raging Fire, Makian, we had Pentatush, Blueprint.
We had Black as Cold Band.
We
had Curfew Band. We had who else? We had so many persons. We had some young DJs.
Stephanie Maxwell.
Yeah, there was Tira.
Which is
it was a young guy called Chronic. I mean
Chronic, yeah, chat name now.
And let me tell you, Tira is from our camp, and I tell you, when you hear it, if you think Hyah Quality is good, when you hear it in Tira too, you're going to say, wow. So we really believe not only in ourselves, but in the other acts and in the other people.
And you know, I'm not bashing anybody, but one of our aim is not to be selfish.
Right.
Because even if Hyah Quality get up tomorrow and hear that we're #1 across the world, we're still going to have the Next Generation Reggae.
Right.
We're still going to be highlighting younger talent. We're still going to respect other artists because that's just who we are.
Right.
We are our worst critics. I can tell you that. So if we're not doing something good, we will fight amongst each other. Verbally, verbally. But that's basically what we do. We appreciate music.
Yeah.
And not to stray away from the point too much, but we are fans of the music too.
Right.
So you don't want to get too. As musicians, you have to learn to separate yourself from the music that you do and just be a fan sometimes and enjoy other person's music.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So we have to highlight the works that other acts are doing too.
This is Carrot speaking, because like Kabaka Pyramid, I just love his songs and his lyrical content.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's off the chain.
It Raging Fire too, which is our brother them.
Right.
You know what I mean? We and them have the amount of music we do together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when they're going to be on the album too, you know what I mean? And Dub Tonic is another band that we admire, and we're going to do some work with them too. So when the album drop, you're going to see other collaborations also, but you're going to see Hyah Quality.
Yeah, man. I love that name because it
starts and begins with us.
It kind of embraces what you guys are trying to achieve, which is a higher quality of music.
Yes.
Not just for yourself, but for everybody else involved.
Everybody. Because we want the world to recognize that Jamaica is the capital of reggae music.
Well, yeah.
And not only any reggae music, but quality reggae music. And that's what we want to bring to.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I was growing up and I was listening to man like Bob Marley, Dennis Brown, Peter Tosh, Gregory Isaac, the Wailers. I mean, these guys were third world. These guys weren't making normal music. You know what I mean? These guys were touring the world doing quality music. You know what I mean? Other persons from other genre of music wanted to collaborate with these guys because they were doing quality music. So you can't negate the fact that quality music will take you around the world. So that's what we want to embrace and continue.
And remember, every genre of music have its crowd. So we just have to maintain our standard in reggae at all times.
Straight.
I want to ask you a question, and I want to respond to something that you said earlier, which is, working with people like Kabaka Pyramid, because I reached out to Kabaka Pyramid even before I got to know you guys, and even Raging Fire, because it was Gemstone who kind of introduced Raging Fire to myself, and I find them so incredible that, reggae music finally is going back to live instrumentation and so on and so forth. And you've just mentioned a world of artists like Chronics and Kabaka Pyramid and you name it, who are incredible. But when you look at the music in itself, what do you, and I want to pinpoint on this, what do you hear that is lacking? Touch upon the points which is lacking in the music.
What is lacking, as we hint early on, is that balance. And when I say balance, I don't only mean in terms of on the radio waves in terms of reggae versus dancehall versus other genre of music. I'm talking about balance in terms of exposure, that handing down of the baton from artists that are established to the younger generation of artists that's supposed to come up and continue the music. So that is missing, and that is necessary, and that is essential to keep the music alive. You understand? That's why we, even though we're not a big act, we still believe that we can't do it by ourselves. So a collective effort, a group effort outside of just Hyah Quality, you know what I mean, can spark back that fire or add to the fire that is there and keep the fire blazing. So that is what we think as a group.
Yeah, because
the connection between
the old and the
new.
Yeah, because when you look at it in general, there are so many young persons like Hyah Quality out there that just need that listening ear.
So true. Yeah.
And their music is so phenomenal that, I mean, it just have to make an impact. So as long as they can get that exposure, that is what we intend to do. We're going to give them that exposure along with ourselves.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you can't, if people don't help you, don't depend.
Yeah.
Do your thing yourself. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, because I'm sure that the fans over your side in England are wondering what to the next generation of youths. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not hearing it. So that is missing, that exposure to the next. Who's next? You know what I mean? That needs to be there. So we give thanks to general culture, and we give thanks to reggae wave. You know what I mean?
Stockade Records.
You know what I mean? Persons like that who are exposed to youths and real, not just who are there and popular now, but the next. You know what I mean? And who are doing good works, like, you know what I mean, like you mentioned a couple names already.
Yeah.
Remember,
so that is what we really need right now. That persons to expose the talent. You know,
bridge that gap.
Bridge the gap. Because if you have a show for 10 years and all you're hearing is one act for 10 years, something wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, there should always be that next. So you're fueling the fire each time.
And too much time across the world we focus on the popular, you know?
Yeah.
Too much.
Trust me, to me, because of burning underground reggae music scene.
Definitely.
Right?
Well, that's what the music is almost as if every time I hear reggae music, it's almost as if we haven't really advanced. Even though we know Sean Paul has gone out there and he's a mega superstar and so on and so forth. But what about the next generation? And I guess my next question to you is, over the years, when you take reggae music, for instance, back to like the 60s, and then you had the 70s and it changed again, and then the 80s and it changed again, and then the 90s you had the Bogle area and so on and so forth, to year 2000, and then everything just died a death and went back full circle back to, like, we've got to go back to the old ska era or whatever, you know. But in terms of advancing reggae music, what would be your views on that? How can we advance the music and introduce a new beat or a new whatever in order to forward, you know, reggae music?
Well, this is Keena speaking. When a question like that is a very, very good question. You know what I mean? Because seeing where the music is coming from and seeing the evolution of the music, as I say, in each decade it keep on evolving, and seeing to where it is right now, it seems stagnant. And that is the reason why it is stagnant is because of the lack of exposure, because the music is evolving still. You still have acts, younger acts doing something new and fusing the music with different things. But I think the problem is that when you find acts as big as Sean Paul and a Shaggy, you find that when they get that big, they start to kind of, in order to cross over, they tend to dilute the music a little bit.
Yeah.
It lose the essence of why you got there in the first place.
Yeah.
So to me, when Bob Marley did reggae music, it was reggae. It was reggae fused with a little bit of rock.
I agree.
In a sense, to cross it over, but it still was the core was reggae.
Yeah.
You could hear that. When Third World did it, it was reggae.
That's right.
You know what I mean? When the Wailers did it, it was reggae. When Dennis Brown did it, it was reggae.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we have to get back to that core, which is reggae. You know what I mean? You might fuse a little bit with other things, but the core music has to be reggae. And that's what not that we're trying to evolve it to something else, but we need to know. I think we're reaching the music, we have to reach back to what it initially started out as. and that is reggae. So that's what we're trying to do right now.
So is it going in the right direction in terms of going back in order to move forward?
I think it is. I think it is, and the reason why I say I think it is because with acts like Raging Fire, with acts like Kabaka, with
they
acts
are
like
incredible.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
You understand? But the reason why you would ask a question like that, and the reason why you think that is because of the lack of exposure. Right. So person's not seeing that coming from Jamaica. They're just seeing the acts that are basically, you know what I mean, fusing with other acts or diluting the music, and that's what they see. You know what I mean? But it is there.
It's so is it safe to say that maybe we need more promoters who are not so individualistic?
Exactly. Right. And looking to expose the younger talent on the music, because one person said to me a long time ago, if all they do is complain and you're not a part of the solution, then a problem will always be.
Yeah.
So we need to be the solution that we want. So that's why we not only talk about Hyah Quality, we not only push Hyah Quality, we push other young acts that we see as quality.
Yeah.
You know?
And this is what I love about you guys, is because you practice what you preach. And
exactly.
I've seen the works that you've done with many of the artists out there, and not just yourselves. And what my next question to each and every one of you is how do you divide your time between your own productions and trying to get your own album out there, and trying to, divide it with the upcoming acts which you're dealing with? How are you able to cope with all that? Because I know it's hard work, because I do it myself. So how do you cope with all that?
General culture, that's a very good question again. I think how we do it is because whatever we do, whenever, as Marlon said, if we should get a number one, it wouldn't just be for us, we would always reach back. So I think each time we step up the ladder, each time we get to the next level, we're not, every time they say Hyah Quality, they're actually talking about a Jamaican reggae group. And that in itself is exposing all the other acts.
Yeah.
Because in the world of music, we're representing the genre. So each time they say Hyah Quality, they're saying reggae. And once they start saying reggae, they're going to want to hear another act. So that's what we basically do, right, in terms of not just for us, but in terms of that time,
My answer to that, in Jamaica, the old people used to say, if you want good, your nose have to run. So if you want to make that, if you want to sell your product, you have to sacrifice time.
Right.
So for us to be trying to highlight other people, or not even highlighting other people, more like highlighting Hyah Quality, and in also doing that, pulling others with us, we have to make a lot of sacrifices.
Balance is out.
So going through that is a process that we've been learning from over the years, even with keeping on shows, and we've been getting better at it.
Right.
We've been
creating that balance.
Yeah, and creating that balance, allotting time for different areas of the business.
So, of course, that's
what we've been doing.
We all work, you understand?
Okay.
But then we still, after even though when we're tired and we know we have work the next day, or whatever we have to do the next day, we still have to find that time. You understand? Right. We have to make it happen.
Yeah.
That's just bottom. Yeah, and some others. I remember even when we were keeping the last show, Kino was so tired.
Yeah.
I was tired.
We were drained on stage.
we were tired persons performing, and you wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know that. So
it's not easy to keep a show, because we also host the show.
Right.
So we are in the production where we overlook the rehearsals with other acts, and then we do the promotion on majority of the time ourselves, and then we host the show ourselves.
And after we
sing, we're a part of the show.
Then after the show, we clean up.
So it's not easy, but but we have help, and we're not doing it by ourselves. Right. With persons like Frankenbell, with persons like Nigel Collins, with persons like Gregory Young, persons like Jason Grant, persons like Rochelle, persons like Lisa who came on, Kamara, Deandra. I mean, with hosts of persons who help us out in small, in little things that they do. You know what I mean? Just
little things make a big difference.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that helped to create that balance.
Yeah.
Okay. And I see you've done a lot of work. Have you done work at the Plug and Play?
Yes.
Okay, because I recognize the venue, because I do know Asante Amen and Gemstone regularly do some stuff down there. And who is the band that backs you? Is it Dubtronics?
No, that was Curfew.
It's Curfew. Okay.
No, it wasn't Curfew.
That was our band.
We put together that band. We asked different musicians to come and play for us.
Okay.
We went out and we asked, you know.
But currently we have a band. Hyah Quality.
Working on an Hyah Quality band
right now.
Okay, I like that.
Because we're getting ready for the road. Because we see just lining up everything.
Yeah.
So we realize that right now, whenever the call to go overseas, we're ready. Because we've been rehearsing and we've been doing this. We've been doing this for 2005 to now.
Right.
So right now we're ready.
Yes.
And Stockade said, HQ England, we're ready. Anybody Europe, we're ready. Africa, Asia, South America, Caribbean, North America, we're ready.
I love it, because one thing that Stockade Promotions loves to do, and Reggae Wave Radio, is that we love to talent scout, and that is pretty much one of Lady General's jobs on Stockade Promotions. And I was trying to search my memory bank, and I was trying to remember, how did I get to know you guys? And I couldn't remember, because I was so taken aback by your music and listening to your music and the harmonies and everything. Everything else I just kind of forgotten. Remind me how I got to know about you guys.
Well, actually, you know, it was through a link that Ricky made. Her name is, she has a very strange name, but she's from France. Right. So she just said, hey, I'm gonna give you some names, and you just email them. Tell them that I recommended for Hyah Quality to meet you. So he said, all right, fine. And I sat up on the computer, and I sent her like tons of emails that night.
Okay.
So that's how we met. And then we made contact with you, and then sent you my music, and then you were like, okay, cool, that was nice. So that's basically where it's coming from.
That's right. And I gotta say, just listening to these guys, I was just gobsmacked. And me and you spoke because me and Lady General called you that night, and you know we were talking, and I could hear the passion in your voice. And I said, you know what, we have found an incredible group.
Yeah.
And I share that with Empress Scorcher, and she concurred with me and many other people that say you guys are incredible. So how do you, or what is the individual works of each and every one? Marlon, what is your work, and Kino and Dottie Cara within the group?
Well, I work in the health sector.
No, I mean within Hyah Quality. What is it? Your tasks?
I was talking about my 9 to 5. Sorry.
Okay, yeah.
All right, my duty in the group is to be the PR person. I'm the person that talks a lot via texting.
Oh gosh.
In person, I may not be that type of person. I'm the person on the computer sending emails, sending out the tracks, trying to get interviews, trying to get us on shows.
Right.
So that's basically my job. My job is to advertise Hyah Quality.
Yeah. And Kino?
For Karat,
okay, Karat.
I'm more like the industry's person. I'll go on the road and show my face, you understand, and basically do the clothing, the image and the groundwork, basically.
Yeah.
You understand? So for us to, like, if we say we have a show or whatever, we say, all right, what we're going to wear to the show, and throw ideas out there, and if everybody concur with an idea, then we're good.
Yeah.
And this is Kino Dread. Please to the Dread. Yeah, my role in the group is I'm the musical coordinator for the group. So most of the times the tracks and the project, I'm the one who goes out there and get them together. So for example, we might might be going in the studio and doing some rhythms.
Yeah.
We want to get the bandman and together and thing, you know. So I just make sure the sound is the higher quality sound, because we have a sound that we're trying to get to.
Right.
You know? So that sound, I have to always ensure that's every time we put out a single or something that going out there, I have to hear it first.
Yeah.
So that's just my role.
And how are you able to assess? Well, I guess my question should be, is like, what sound are you trying to achieve? What is it that, or what are we, the listeners, supposed to be expecting from Hyah Quality in terms of sound, message, and so on and so forth?
Well. You see, I normally talk to persons, right, whether locally and abroad.
Okay.
About in February, I was in the States. I was in West Palm, and I was talking to a brethren of mine, and he was saying that he can't understand what the artist is saying. So the music is nice,
Yeah.
the rhythm is good,
Yeah.
he can't hear clearly
Okay.
what, and he speaks English, and he can't hear clearly what the person is saying. So that is what we're trying to achieve, and that's what we've been working on, is the clarity, you know what I mean, in the music, hearing what we're singing, you know what I mean, because when persons hear us, they can't believe this is a reggae group. Because if we sang on an R&B track, you wouldn't know that we were Jamaicans.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So even in interviews too, how we speak, how we present ourselves, you know what I mean, that is what we're trying to bring.
Yes, our enunciation is good. What we say out of our mouth must be clear enough for everybody to understand.
No matter which part in the world you're from. Once you can understand English, you understand.
And general.
Yeah.
What did you say your first reaction was to hearing us?
Wow.
That's what we're aiming for.
that's that HQ, that wow effect. So if the track don't have that wow effect, we're not putting it on.
Yeah, that's what we're aiming for.
Yeah.
So that's why the album taking that long.
Okay. I love that, because you're working with quality artists, and that's very important, and you're doing that. Because I have to say, and I've got to say it again, I am in awe of people like Kabaka, Pyramid, Chronics, our Protege, and all them people there. You know, they are quality acts. Even Raging Fire have been able to take reggae music back to the roots rock feel. You know, when Bob Marley used to play live, and people like Morgan's Heritage, they bring back that flavor back to the music. Yeah.
And just to add to that, what you're saying, if you notice, with all the names that you have mentioned, we all do reggae, but we don't sound alike, and that is the key.
And that is important. True.
Exactly. So you don't want to hear Hyah Quality and Raging Fire and can't tell the difference. Right. You know what I mean? Our HQ and our Kabaka, you can't tell the difference. We're all doing reggae, but it's a different style of reggae. And that's what we want to do. We don't want to be just as you hear one act and you say, I hear one act, I hear them all. You know what I mean? So that's what we want to have our own lane in reggae.
Yeah. Just to say though to General that all of those names that you mentioned, except for Chronics, Hyah Quality has worked with them. So
straight.
That's basically.
Brilliant. Let's play some more Hyah Quality music. I want you guys to dictate what next track I should play.
Well, I would say play Celestial Love, because that's the tune that is on iTunes right now.
Okay.
Caperton is on it, Luton Fire is on it, and I mean many other acts is on it. So you can just go on iTunes right now, type in Celestial Rhythm or Hyah Quality Celestial Love, and download it. So bust off the Celestial Love.
Give us a little background behind it as well. Give us some background.
Celestial Love is really, it's really about a girl that's playing hard to get.
Yeah, right.
So it's basically speaking to her that, hey, I know, just give me your love because I know you want to give it to me.
And it's not a normal love, because the word celestial means heaven.
It's a heavenly love.
So,
she has that love, you know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a special kind of love. It's a love that don't come around very often.
Right.
So you know, we're trying to explain to her. So
I need that celestial love.
Right? You know what I mean? We have a connection that is not normal. So don't play around with that.
Don't play.
And I guess when I first heard the, can you hear me?
Yeah,
yes, man.
Okay. I guess when I first heard that particular track, my mind just kind of went to spirituality, because they kind of liken celestial with spirituality or the churches, you know.
It's heavenly, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heavenly.
So that is the background behind Celestial Love. So let's just play that, okay? This is Celestial Love. Is out now on iTunes. It features many artists like Capleton and Marshall and many other artists. Luton Fire, that's right. And we're gonna play that track now, Celestial Love.